Book of Heaven, Volume 31, September 18th, 1932. The page written in the divine will, story of the creature. How God does not want us servants, but little princes of his kingdom. Divine love in search of all creatures in order to love them. My abandonment in the divine volition continues. I feel myself being hidden by its eternal waves, in which it hides everything. Nothing can escape its immensity. So one who wants to find everything, embrace everything, hear the story of each one, must enter into this sea of the supreme fiat. But while my mind was wandering in it, my sweet Jesus, visiting my little soul, told me,
"Blessed daughter, my will encloses everything. Even more, for each creature it keeps its written page of how her story is to unfold and her life to be formed. And this page was written ab aeterno, written in the light of our will. So the life of each creature had its beginning in time, but in our Supreme Being it had no beginning, and she was loved by us with love without beginning and without end. Now the whole creation did not exist yet, and we loved it, because it was already inside of us. We kept the great birth of all creatures enclosed inside the sacrarium of our divinity. In each of them we looked at our written page, her events, her tiny little story, and according to what was written, the more or the less by which our most holy will was to be fulfilled and glorified, so much more intensely did we love her. You did not exist, but our will enclosed you, and we, loving you, gave you the place and rest on our paternal knees. We gave you the various lessons on our fiat, and oh, how much pleasure we took in seeing you listen and write in your soul, as though copying what was written in our eternal page. In fact, you must know that what we want the creature to do of our will is first done by us, formed by us in our own volition, and then, overflowing from us, our will wants to do it and form it in the creature, making of her its field of divine action. Our love is so great that we want for her nothing other than to do what we ourselves have done, giving her the model of our act, that she may make the copy. And how much help and assistance do we not give while she makes the copy, giving her our own will as her act, as raw material, so that the copy may turn out according to our design. Now for one who does her own will, each of her acts does nothing other than spoil our design, forming erasures on our written page. Each of our written words contained a special and eternal love. It contained the unfolding of her life according to our likeness, in which she was to enclose her story of love and of fulfillment toward her Creator of his divine will. The human will does nothing other than counterfeit this page and upset our likeness. And instead of forming the copy of our page written with so much love toward her, it has formed its own page, written with notes of sorrow, of confusion, and with a story so vile and low that the centuries will have no memory of it, and the Eternal One will not find in it the echo of the story written in his page, in which his divine story in the creature was to be hymned. My daughter, there is a mistaken knowledge in the low world, and they believe that the creature can live as though apart from us. What a mistake! What a mistake! The whole of creation is nothing other than an inheritance come out of us. Therefore it is our own. It belongs to us. So much so, that although we have issued it outside, yet we have issued it as inseparable from us, and we want the honor, the glory of our inheritance, and for creatures to be not our vile servants, but our children, and like many little princes of our kingdom. And this princehood was given to them by the inseparability from our will, so much so that the creature cannot do without it, nor can she live or separate, not even in hell. At the most, some keep it as operating, and some keep it as preserving of their being, without giving it the freedom to do good. To live without my will would be like the body living without the soul, which is impossible, and it shows that when a member is severed from the body, it has no motion, it loses heat, and it putrefies, because the soul is missing. So it would be if my will were missing, everything would resolve into nothing. Now, the living in my will is precisely this, to feel, flowing in one's whole being, in all the acts, the light, the divine strength, the life of my will, because where its operating life is not present, that act remains without life, without heat, without strength and divine light. It is as though dead to good, and when there is no good inside, evil is formed and it ends up putrefying. Oh, if the creature could see herself without the operating life of my will, she would see herself so counterfeited that she herself would be horrified to look at herself. Therefore, let yourself be engulfed always by the eternal waves of my will, in which you will find your page written, your story woven with so much love about you. In this way, what we have disposed of you will no longer affect you. You will find everything as things that belong to you, and that by absolute necessity must form your life, fill your story, and satisfy our need of love, wanting ab aeterno to make our will known. Be faithful, and do not hinder our love, and leave us free to carry out our admirable designs formed upon you.
After this, I continued my abandonment in the divine fiat, and my sweet Jesus added,
Good daughter, one who does and lives in my volition rises into the unity of my will, and in it she descends into all things to give me her love in all things, in all creatures and acts of theirs.
And I, my love, as much as I do to love you in all creatures and in all of their acts, wanting to cover them all with my love, so that you may receive nothing but love from them, still I see that not all of them love you. This is a sorrow for me, because I think that my love has no vital strength, and therefore I am unable to make you loved by all. And Jesus,
My daughter, it is the strength of the unity of my will that flings you over all and over everything, to love in everything and give me the requital of the love of all. And if they do not love me, I cannot say that I do not receive your love. On the contrary, in your love I feel the notes of love that all should give me, and oh, how happy I am. You must know that this is our divine office, from the height of our soul and only act which we never interrupt. Our light, love, power, and goodness descend and go on tracing all the acts, the heartbeats, the steps, the words, the thoughts, in order to mold them, invest them, seal them with our love. We feel the irresistible need of love to go in search of everything and of everyone, and we let nothing escape us, not even a heartbeat, without giving the creatures an I love you of ours. Yet they do not love us. Even more, there are some who escape from under the reign of our love. But in spite of this, we continue, we do not stop, because our divine nature is love, and it must love, and we feel the contentment, the happiness that our love gives us by loving, as it has the virtue of loving all, of extending to all and everywhere. Nor would there be full happiness in us if our love were to suffer the impotence of not being able to love everything, or of stopping if it does not see itself requited. In the same way, you continue to love us for all, and to engulf all into our love. And even though you may not obtain the whole of your intent, you will feel the notes of our love bearer of happiness, that you want to love us for all.
Fiat.